fall down. Enter a light of it whispered with you and the high thoughts. Listen. Here.
Welcome back, folks. I'm AC. Glad to have you join me today. 2 months ago, I made a video covering the Kaiser Foundation, a channel that I categorize as analog horror. Hopefully you've watched it, cause I'm not rehashing the definition here. Either way, if you're a fan of online horror content, you've most likely seen some at some point. We are currently at what I'd like to call the second analog horror boom. The stories of the Mandela Catalogue and Monument Mythos have been seemingly everywhere lately. Both channels are doing astoundingly well, and their unique takes on the analog horror genre have brought a ton of new interest. Of course, there's plenty of other channels that have appeared between these 2 points in time, but much like the Kaiser Foundation is to Local 58, the channel we're covering today is lesser known in comparison to Monument Mythos and the Mandela Catalogue. So enough rambling, it's time to dive in and figure out the story behind CRT Anomalies. Before we start with any videos, it's important for us to look at the channel itself, and for you to check out CRT Anomalies yourself. I'm only here trying to piece together a story. There's a lot of effort put into these videos, so please, give them the attention they deserve. The origins of CRT Anomalies is much in itself an anomaly. The channel was created on June 12th of 2019, with a simple description. Here I upload strange videos I have on my VHS recorder. We don't know when this description was added, but the first video we see, Video 1 1986, was uploaded April 8th, 2020, almost a year later. Then to further complicate things, another year passes before the channel really started blowing up. This is an archive for the channel from February 5th, 2021, and here's the channel around 7 months later. Slow and steady growth, until suddenly YouTube's algorithm posts another throw old video in recommended section. Or it went viral on another site. Don't know, don't care. So, we get it. Let's look at CRT Anomalies' first video now, dated to 1986.
They're gone.
Dove contains 1/4 moisturizing cream. Its non-soap formula won't dry your face like soap.
Everybody wants to look touchable. With Dove, my skin feels wonderful.
We start off with CRT Anomalies entering a VHS tape, and selecting segment 1. The tape starts off with an ad before the channel comes back. Channel 62. What a classic. We're then shown a time schedule, starting with today's highlights, of which there are none. A high wind speeds warning cuts in during this, giving us a location, Webb Mountain. Besides this, it isn't important apart from nice atmosphere building. The highlights continue for about a minute, accurate to the time schedule, before Community Watch begins. We're provided 3 camera angles: Patriot Park, Wares Valley Gas Station, and Circle Drive Southwest. Wares Valley is a small community in Tennessee, and traveling a couple miles east we'll find a Webb Mountain. There's not much else to mention for now, but somewhat in between these locations is a city named Pigeon Forge. This place will be important later. The first time we look at the cameras, everything seems normal. The second time we see Patriot Park, however, there's a man in the distance. Oh, that's fine, perhaps he's touching grass as all of us should. Except, he just stands there. Regardless, the feed switches and some cars drive by. There's a flash of lightning, but due to the lack of rain, I assume it's heat lightning. We cut back to the park again, and he's closer. And the following shot of the gas station shows a police car in the background. Probably not connected. Next time we see him, a new sound accompanies the buzz of the camera. Despite them not having microphones, nothing happens in the next few shots, building suspense to Patriot Park. The man stands directly in front of the camera now, before looking into it. His face, however, is off. His silhouette looked normal, and it's only his actions that were concerning, but upon seeing the face, gives me cryptid vibes. Something happened to this dude, and knowing the channel's sign-off doesn't start for another 10 plus minutes, and that there's 2 other segments to this VHS, there's possibly more video of this thing we've yet to see. Either way, their appearance here was a little cliche, but that's it for this video. The last information we get is from the description, thanking an individual named Leo for helping spruce up the tape's audio. So next up, video 2000. No, not 2 of 2000, it's the year. You know what, just play it. The purpose of this one is very hard to pin down. We really need more videos from the uploader before we can decipher anything from it. As such, I'll only go with the information we're given here. CRT Anomalies inserts the VHS tape and selects segment 2. The footage is relating to an international flight run by Mandela Airways. We know it's international because their motto is "Your cursive word to the Pacific," and the flight measurements use a metric system instead of airspeed being in yards per football field. From what I've gathered, the word Matenga is an oddly horrifying term to call your airline. In the Maori language, a Polynesian people native to New Zealand, the term relates to the word death. Because of this, we can assume the plane originated from New Zealand, but to name your fictional airline that is very strange, to say the least. The plane's destination is Truk International Airport, located in the country of Micronesia. But with an hour and 22 minutes left, something happens, causing the plane to crash. While trying to figure out the name, I found two other things I thought I should mention. The first search result of Mandela Airways leads to a real flight accident that occurred on September 28th of 2018, landing in Chuck Lagoon. Whether or not people are drawing inappropriate connections to this, or the creator did so himself, I don't know. Just like the Kaiser Foundation, I'm gonna assume it's just a coincidence. But speaking of the creator, a Reddit user named Spruce Cops shared this video on r/analoghorror and Local58 over a year ago. If they're the creator, hope you know you've done a great job with the series. Anyways, the description helps fix the fact this tape was recovered from a plane crash, by the uploader also being confused in how he has it. But ultimately, we don't know where this flight originated, or why it crashed. We do know it was heading to Chuck Lagoon, and this location will be important later. And later is right now, with video 3 from 1964.
This leader is provided to permit the projectionist to complete adjustment of focus and sound level before the film begins.
This is the video which ties the whole story together. We start from the usual beginning, segment 3 being selected this time, and a warning displayed that this footage is top secret. Those unauthorized to watch it can be charged with treason against the US, which can be punishable by death. The footage is of a supposed MKUltra presentation. For those who don't know, MKUltra was a real program conducted by the CIA in which people were forcefully interrogated and experimented on while being put under psychoactive substances. I don't care to do a deep dive into the specifics of it, so I'll just say the creator did a real good job with accuracy here. Especially with the description saying how this footage was obtained by the church committee, which is true as they helped bring this program to light. Jumping into the more disturbing part, I believe the alternate take on MKUltra begins with the intentional inducing of seizures on test subjects, but again, it's so well put together you can hardly tell. Unlike stupidly throwing the program in as a final plot point to a Call of Duty game, this is actually believable. So, in CRT Anomalies' world, the MKUltra program mainly consisted of giving people seizures while under hallucinogenic drugs, and then torturing and interrogating them. In case the subjects got physical, steps were put in place to anesthetize them with thiopental, as close to the lethal dose as possible to try and calm the situation. If this didn't work, they'd move on to neutralization, killing them essentially. However, it seems in some cases these steps were either missed or taken too late, as the slide covering protocol G6A54 is coated in blood. If we're to assume the man from the first video was created by this MKUltra, then he may have well broken out of the facility and killed his interrogator. The next slide simply cuts to the locations where this program occurred, and one of these locations just happens to be Pigeon Forge, right around the area in which Channel 62 was broadcasting, as well as a certain Chuck Lagoon. TTPI stands for Trust Territory of the Pacific Islands, essentially giving the US control over Chuck Lagoon until 1994. We still don't know why the plane crashed into 2000s, but this certainly gives us more reasons to question it. Final video as of now, number 4 from 1979. This entry was uploaded 10 months after the previous, amid CRT Anomalies blowing up. Since then, the uploader seemingly bought a new video system in that time, somewhat signifying the channel's resurrection. Anyways, he selects segment 1 and onto the tape. Despite it mainly consisting of audio, the text still gives us a lot of information. We start off with the date and location. Kelly Mountain, near Ribby, Idaho, a city which in itself neighbors the much larger Idaho Falls, a place that reaped a lot of tumult over the discovery of this tape, and a city which is also on the list of places to host the MKUltra program. The text then strangely says, "People's eyes close." I have no clue what this means, but I got a theory I'll get to in a moment. We then get to the story of this tape's previous owners. The first guy who found it is said to have died, but not before giving it to a friend. She then gave it to the dude who added this text over the tape, and that's where the story ends. However, I'm not convinced this is the same dude who's uploading all these online, but who knows. What I can say, from God bless his soul, is that he's religious. And this ties back to my theory on the earlier text. People's eyes closed may have simply been his way of saying that whatever happened at Idaho Falls affected people so horrifyingly to the point of them losing their faith, that no one could so destructively torture a human into what's essentially a man-made cryptid. People must have been sleeping through those screams outside for decades, as well as there potentially being more disappearances than just this tape. As we know, the secrets of MKUltra were eventually brought to the public, and with it, must have brought a terrible realization to the cities on the list of sites. The people interrogated and turned into these anomalies, the ones which managed to escape only becoming terrorists themselves on the places around them. The 2000s plane crash could have been several things. Engine failure, hijacking, cryptid outside the plane, a government shooting it down because of secret cover-up, we don't know. But maybe one day, CRT Anomalies will upload another video. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. This took a while because I've been adjusting to my new computer, but we'll see if this changes my upload schedule or not. Anyways, feel free to subscribe, and hopefully you'll stick around for my next video. See ya.